All right, everybody. Welcome back to Comics Only, the only podcast where comedians talk with other comedians about comedy. My guest today is comedian, writer, and one of my favorite people in the whole fucking valley, Chris Erb.
Oh, thank you.
What's up, dude?
Much, man. Just coming out here to a med spa, I guess. We're doing...
Yeah. A peek behind the curtain. We're in like a lawyer's office with weird art on the walls.
It's really nice, actually.
It's almost 90 degrees.
It is kind of warm in here.
Yeah, they don't air condition it on the weekends very well, turns out.
Perfect time for a
I know.
podcast.
I need to talk to him about that, actually. Be like, hey, I'm like doing stuff here on the weekends. Could you like drop it like 5 degrees or whatever? I'm paying rent.
Are you actually?
Yeah, I'm paying like $250 a month. Yeah, pretty
To
significant.
do the podcast?
For the access on the weekends and stuff.
For
Yeah.
your job?
No, not for my job, for the podcast.
For masturbating.
Yeah.
I need somewhere to jerk
To
up.
come on the walls.
Paint's really...
How long have you been doing comedy now, dude?
5 years, I think.
Oh, we're like right.
Going on 5.
I just hit 5 years.
Yeah. The first time I ever did stand-up was in like 2017, but I don't really count that because I was doing it like once a month.
Yeah, it doesn't really
so it's
count.
like-
It's always weird when like those people that are about like I've been doing it like 10 years, and then you
Like,
find out
have
they
you-
go like 6 times a year or whatever.
Yeah,
it's like
it's not doing stand-up.
it's like I did more stand up, in the last 3 months than you've done in those 10 years or whatever. It doesn't.
So yeah, 2017 is like the first time I did it, but I didn't count that. And then 2018, I got a really shitty job. So yeah, I was like a delivery driver.
Yeah.
And I worked at a place called Aramark. So we delivered like linens and like uniforms and stuff, like bar towels to like places.
Sure.
And it was based in like 35th Avenue and Buckeye.
Yeah.
You know where that is?
Not really. It doesn't sound good.
Yeah, it's not the nicest part of town.
I know Buckeye's on south of the 10.
Yeah.
So that's not a
anything
good
down there
sign. 35th is pretty central.
Yeah.
I don't know. That doesn't seem good.
It's pretty, yeah, in long story short, yeah, it's a pretty shitty area. But, so I had that job for like a year. And so I didn't do stand-up at all because I was working like 14 hours on a truck.
Oh, yeah, you just can't, dude.
Yeah. And so then I didn't do that for then. And then 2019 is really when I like started.
It's so funny. Like, it seems like it's such a little commitment and it would be so easy, but stand-up is really the easiest if you have no
It's
other.
like
If you have no other commitments, that's the
Oh,
easiest.
yeah,
Like when you're like waking up and it's like 10 a.m. and you're like, all right, I got a show in 7 hours. Thank God I have 7 hours.
Gotta clock in so I can write my dick and shit jokes.
Yeah.
It is a full-time job if you like really commit to it. You know?
Yeah, well, I mean, ideally it would be.
Yeah.
I hope I could get it there someday. That would be sick. But yes, it's not that hard to commit like full-time hours to comedy. It's just not. Between promotion, writing jokes, getting on stage, hanging and networking with other comics, emailing book, like there's so much shit, dude. It's almost like the more you get into it, you're like, what the fuck is even the point?
It's not even fun anymore.
Yeah.
I just wanted to make people laugh. Now I gotta like make people like me.
I heard a comedian talk about it. He was like, I'm never getting paid for being on stage. That's fun. I'll do that anytime. It's traveling to the venue, promote, like it's all the other shit basically that sucks.
I hate
And that's
promotion.
like why I ask for money is because I have to do all that other shit.
Yeah,
It's like
you're
yeah.
spending money to
Yeah.
get that. You're actually losing money after you like
I know.
get paid and everything. You get your $25 check.
Oh my God. Yeah.
Check for $25. My grandma gave me more than that for my birthday.
I mean, the reality to getting paid in comedy is you have to figure out how to become a draw. It's like your name has to draw
Oh yeah.
people in to the venue.
Asses
like,
and seats.
There's no like comedians that want to get paid, but like nobody comes to see them. It's like, for what? Where's the money coming from? Like
Yeah.
we all want to
It's like
get
women's
paid.
basketball. It's like,
Yeah, it's a lot like women's basketball, except good comedians don't make enough money to subsidize the bad ones, it turns out.
Yeah,
Well,
we're not an
sometimes they
NBA
do,
either,
but
yeah.
it's a very individual basis. Do you know who Paul Verzi is?
Yeah.
Thank God he's good friends with Bill
Bill
Burr,
Burr.
huh? I don't know. I'm not gonna talk shit, but I don't find him great.
That's fine. I mean,
I'm just saying he's lucky Bill loves him so much.
yeah. Well, he's Bill Burr. It's like fucking. That's like being friends with.
I went
Richard
to see
Pryor,
Bill Burr and Paul Verzi opened, and it was just like, I don't know why Bill thinks we want like a shitty version of him to open.
Oh man.
It's like the same accent and everything, just not quite as good, or not even close, but whatever.
I've never actually watched his stand up. I just know who he is because Bill talks about him.
Yeah,
all the time.
and it's a podcast with him.
Did you see him recently?
Yeah.
At what was it?
The Financial
Theater, yeah.
That big one. It seats like 5,000. It's so huge.
It's downtown?
It was worth it to see Bill Burr. I'll never go watch a comedian in that size venue again.
No, yeah.
It was such a pain, dude. We're jammed in like it's a fucking airplane for some reason. And like, we're sitting through like the most garbage openers. And it's like, I just want to see Bill, dude. Like, that's the thing about going to see a headliner. It's like, I hate watching the opening half of the show.
Oh, but that's going to be us one day, hopefully. Some show that nobody wants to see.
I know, right? It always is. Dude, it was the show last night. Just like, hey, I know you guys are all hanging out. How about we just like surprise you with comedy for an hour?
That's every show at like a bar.
I know. Something. Every bar show, every mic is that. Everybody. Which it's good to practice. I talk about this all the time. You don't get better at comedy if you only do the clubs and you're only performing in places where people want to laugh. You have to go places where they're actively mad that you're doing comedy. They're like, we hate you for doing this. And you're like, all right, but you're still going to laugh at this, right? And they're like, fine.
If you can get those people to laugh, that's when you're like getting somewhere.
Yeah, I think I was telling you, maybe I was telling Mitch, at Wayward a couple nights ago, I had a really bad, I bombed. I'll just say that. But I could see people like laughing, like trying not to laugh, but still laughing. And that means a lot.
It's like some people are scared to laugh because they don't want to be the only one that's laughing.
Yeah. Well, so it's like they probably just don't like me.
That too.
Like, you know what I mean? Like,
I never thought of it that way.
Yeah, it's like they're like, at some point, I've seen it. Sarah Steiner and I were just talking about it. It happened to her at House of Comedy. She went up. She had her blue hair in front of that old conservative audience, and you could just feel them immediately be like, she's gonna have to be so fucking funny to make us laugh.
Like,
and
I'm
she
voting
just
for Trump even harder.
Wasn't funny enough that night, right?
Yeah.
Like, but it wasn't. She's not. She's very funny.
Sarah's hilarious.
Of course. And so it's like it's just that crowd decided in a moment we don't like you.
Well, that's if you can make like any crowd laugh, especially how you look too.
Yeah.
Like there's people that have a look about them that they just look at them, they're like immediately like, I don't like this guy.
Yeah.
Depending on what side of what political spectrum you're on.
That's why I try really hard to like kind of play, like I'm constantly going back and forth between like making dumb like gay jokes that Republican and conservatives would like, and then making like woke weird points that like liberals would agree with, and everybody's just, what the fuck?
I like your dichotomy, because people don't know what to think about you.
And then I even have a joke where I address it very specifically that I did last night, where it's like, I don't identify with either political party. I'm really convinced both sides are really dumb.
Yeah. When you think about it, all normal people really are like somewhere in the middle, you know?
Most, yeah. And the extremes get really scary, yeah. And it feels like it's so much more pushed that way all the time. I don't understand.
Probably on purpose.
Yeah, probably. You know,
I didn't know this was the politics podcast.
Yeah, well, we're trying to go viral, Chris Herb. What was the first club you ever did in Phoenix?
JP's probably.
Oh, shout out.
Yeah,
hey, they get a lot of shouts outs on this podcast. I don't know if you've ever listened.
I haven't been there in a long time.
Yeah, me neither. I've been there maybe twice.
Really?
Total, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I'd go if you wanted to book me.
Until then, you can talk shit.
Yeah. He's caught some strays on this podcast, so I'm not sure that'll happen. But, you know.
I'm just keeping names out of my mouth.
70 fucking people listen to this podcast, so maybe it didn't make it back to him.
And all 73 of them are JP.
He gives a lot of opportunities to a lot of comics I find very funny, and he runs a good room, and I hope everybody...
JP was always it's a good room whenever I was in there. He packs it out, and it's intimate.
I mainly just don't like having to pay to do the open mic, and then it's just comics there anyways, and you're just like, well, I could do this anywhere.
I get that.
In New York, I would pay $5 every week to do Stir Crazy.
Oh, absolutely.
Like that's the difference, you know.
But like New York and LA, like there's so many mics that there are paid mics there. I mean, when I was in New York, like it's all like $5 to get in there. But it's also fucking New York, you know. So it's like we're in Arizona.
Were any of them like more than just comics?
The ones I went to,
pretty
no, it was
rare?
mainly just comics.
Jesus Christ, dude.
I mean, it's like the same here.
Kind of, but like, I don't know. You can catch way. I don't know. It's not.
Way more
It's not
options in
quite
New
the
York.
same.
There's like 30 mics a day in New York. It's
Right.
crazy.
Yeah, for sure. I'm sure you could find like probably some better ones.
Oh,
or
yeah.
whatever. But like my point is, it's not quite that here. There's nights when it's like that when you're like, Jesus Christ, there's nobody in here. But like Wayward's usually pretty good.
Yep.
Stir Crazy is a mic that's like sold out, which is just insane.
Yeah, it's a bunch of old white people over there that just want to do something.
Yeah.
It's like, but it's just, I don't know. It's always packed out.
Yeah. Let's see.
What is it? Bogies?
Yeah, Bogies usually is pretty good.
Yeah.
When it's not hot as fuck, the mic drop mic is pretty good.
Oh, outside, yeah.
Yeah, even outside. I make so many dumb jokes about it.
They
but,
just got a new GM there, and he said he's going to try to figure that whole thing out. I don't know if that means maybe bringing it inside. I don't know.
that would be cool.
That would
It
be
would be
cool.
so cool to have an indoor mic.
Maybe
I
at
don't
least
know.
during the summer. Yeah.
It was so weird that they couldn't get people to show up. For
The
the
open
mic.
mic? Yeah, I know.
because like they ran it inside for a while, and they just like had to like move it outside.
I think it's just the drive for people because
Yeah,
people are like,
sometimes.
oh, it's on Chandler.
yeah.
But I don't know. I'm in the middle of everything, so kind of.
What's your joke writing process like?
Well, first I masturbate, and then usually I just like have like an idea like throughout the day that I'll write down that I think is funny, and then I'll go in my kitchen when nobody's home, and I'll just start talking to myself like out loud about that idea,
Nice.
and I'll kind of just as I'm talking, I'll start writing things down that I think is funny based off of
What
how
you
I say it.
say.
Because if like I just try to sit down and write it like that, it starts like sounding very like sing-songy, like
Right.
punchliney.
Yeah.
Because when you actually talk it's like how you talk.
Right. Yeah. It can be hard to write in your voice. That's
Yeah.
a good point.
So that's kind of how I write in my style. My voice is I just say it out loud to myself until I like finally like get on something like, oh, that's kind of funny. So then I'll write that down, and then kind of tweak it from there.
Yeah.
And then if I'll try it at a mic, if it doesn't work the first time, it's like, all right, cool, it didn't work. And then I'll try it a couple more times. And if I get something that works like 3 out of the 5 times I do it, like, okay, I'd be like, okay, this is a bit that I can actually work with and like, work on.
3 out of 5 is good. Yeah.
If it's-
3 out of 5 is great.
Yeah. if it's anything under that, it's like, all right, maybe you just need to like go back and figure something out, or this just sucks in general.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah. Listen, that's probably not. I don't know. Yeah. It's so weird trying to figure out jokes and like jokes that travel. It's like just because the joke's not hitting in a certain room or whatever.
and you'll give up on it.
Yeah, and
And it's
then
like, no,
go
it's
try
good.
it. Go try it 20 minutes outside of town. See how it goes there. Especially back in Oregon.
Oh, yeah.
You have like Portland and Eugene is these like hyper liberal like cities. And then you go like literally 10, 15 minutes out of town and it's like worse than here.
When you look at the election maps, you look at Oregon, it's just like these little pockets.
It's
that are
so
super
weird.
blue.
Or even I've been talking about this too much, but the difference between here and LA, it's like a 4-hour drive. But like you come over here, it's all like a bunch of homophobic and racist jokes that just would not
It's like Mad
fly
Max,
in
yeah.
LA. And it's like, why?
Yeah.
How is there that big a culture shift in a 4-hour drive on a freeway
I don't know. I mean, LA and New York are kind of just like their own little
kind of thing?
thing. You know,
Yeah.
it's like,
It's just surprising to me LA doesn't leak more or whatever.
yeah. I mean,
I guess they're probably scared to get the shit beat out of them over here.
yeah.
Yeah, come pop off to the Arizonans.
We all have guns. Yeah, the comics. But yeah, I mean,
How many comics do you think carry guns?
I'd say quite a few.
Yeah,
I know a
I think that's
couple.
probably right.
I know a
Yeah,
couple, yeah.
yeah, that's why you said that.
I have one myself, but I don't like carry it on me. Like, but
Yeah,
it's out there. Yeah.
you can steal it from his house if you want.
If filed the serial numbers off, so it's it's a ghost gun. Yeah.
I used to be really into guns when I was on meth.
Really?
Yeah, I really liked
That's
them.
a good time to be
Oh
into
my
guns.
God, not really, dude. My house got shot up, and I smoked a lot of meth afterwards, and that was not a good decision, dude.
I don't think that.
No,
I don't think
it
it's
was-
ever a good decision.
Just like fucking, I'm hearing like things creeping through the fucking woods. I'm just like, pop, 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 pop. I can hear like some animal, like, ow, ow, ow. I was like, oh my God, Jesus Christ.
That's fucking wild.
Yeah, it was scary, dude.
Blowing holes in your walls and shit.
No, not. Well, yeah, the guy did, not me, but the guy shot my house like 18 times.
Is he a drug dealer or something?
Yeah, I traded him a pound of weed for a car that turned out to be like a lemon. He had like fucking fixed it to like work for a little bit, and then it just like died, and I like couldn't get my weed back. This is a wild story. He wouldn't like call me back, and then I had my girlfriend be like, "I want to suck your dick," and he just like immediately showed up, and then we just like took my weed back with a gun, and then then he came back and shot my house up the
Oh,
next day.
damn.
Yeah.
Is that the guy you told me that you were like friends again with after that?
Yeah, we ended up being cool for a while after that.
No, a hard feeling.
Yeah. Not like cool, but like we facilitated a lot of
Like-
drug deals for each
yeah.
other still.
That's the
We didn't like hang out. He sold, dude. This is so far off what this podcast normally is. He sold me. He would sell me guns sometimes. He never would sell me bullets and guns at the same time. Only an empty gun.
Yeah,
It was
that's
pretty
kinda
smart.
yeah.
But I would try and convince him. I'd be like, "Man, can you pick up some bullets on your way down?" He's like, "Nope, I sure cannot. I'm gonna have to find someone else to do that for you."
Damn. What kind of gun do you have?
Mainly pistols.
Yeah.
Mainly
Nines?
sold illegal pistols. Mainly nines. Yeah. XD 40 or not XD9, XDM9. He really liked. That's what he shot up my house with.
Is that a Sig Sauer or what
It's
is it?
in Springfield.
Yeah, Springfield, yeah.
Yeah.
Those are nice.
Mm-hmm.
Springfield and Sig Sauer are the best.
Yeah.
But,
And Glocks.
yeah.
Glocks are pretty
I
sweet.
always wanted Glocks because they just look cool and they're just like,
Yeah,
in all
they're like the
movies.
cop gun.
Yeah.
Yeah. They would, the cops would always show up to my apartment when I was on meth because I'd get in like
I wonder why.
screaming matches with people.
Really?
Neighbors.
With the wall?
Whoever, the wall. My ex, whoever was around. And they did not like when I tried to talk about their guns with them. I'm like, what are you packing? They're like, don't worry about it.
Yeah. Can I hold it?
Yeah.
Oh, man.
So, anyways, I do comedy now.
Yeah,
and
back
my
to
life's
comedy.
like, from meth down to that joke that I did about it. Like, my life's really gone downhill the last couple
love
years.
that joke.
Yeah, dude, I'm
That's
stoked.
really
I
good.
just wrote it. I'm really stoked that it went well last night, and I'm hoping it keeps going.
That's
well.
always great when you get a new joke that you're really excited about and it
Yeah.
like kills. And then you do
Yes.
it a few times after
What's-
that. And then you
I'm
hate it.
really excited about it, not only because I think it's funny, but also because it's like this is so relevant to who I am as a person and what I'm going through now. That if people like it, I'm so happy I get to say it. I feel like I'm really expressing myself, which like is one of the best parts of doing comedy. As much as we all like to hide it or like pretend it's otherwise sometimes.
Yeah.
Like at least for me, I like going up there and being like, "This is who I am," and it weirds me out when comics don't do that.
Yeah.
When it's like the Mark Normand, where it's just like everything's
Set up punchline.
yeah,
joke,
everything's an outward joke, and it's like, who are you? But like sometimes I feel like it's irresponsible to do that too much if you're not actually being funny.
Yeah.
and so you have to commit to being funny first.
That's
Sometimes
like the Norm
that's like-
Macdonald approach. Like Norm Macdonald was never really talked about himself either, but he's probably one of the funniest fucking people
Yeah.
I've ever seen ever. But
Yeah.
that was his thing. Is like always, you're never going up there to like preach or like tell like what you really. I mean, you could tell like what you feel about things, but the first goal is just to be funny, no matter
It's so
what.
interesting because like I've watched a lot of Norm and like I don't have that same feeling of like who are you that I get with like Mark Normand.
No, yeah.
It's like a little different somehow, even if it wasn't very personal.
Yeah,
I don't know.
Norm was just like so unique.
Yes.
Like there's nobody like him.
No.
And sucks that he died, but
Yeah.
no, dude, it was like
It does.
he's such a goofball, and
Yes.
he was never afraid to say anything. Like he'd say the craziest shit. Did you ever watch like Conan? Like, have you ever watched his clips when he's on
of
Conan and
course.
stuff?
Yeah,
And like,
yeah. I love all his late night stuff.
there's this one where like this girl's promoting a new movie she's on with Carrot Top or something like that.
Sure.
And she's like, what's the name of the movie? And she's like, it's called Chairman of the Board. And then Norm comes in and he's like, I bet board is spelled B-O-R-E-D. Just on live television,
Yeah,
she's
that's
promoting her
amazing.
movie. It's just like,
Yeah.
you just say wild shit, but
And his God, what is the moth joke?
yeah,
It's so funny. dude.
you left the light on.
It's just so long for such a dumb punchline.
And that's the funny part. It's
so
like, he just
funny.
keeps it going.
Yeah, and he just has the personality to pull it off. Yeah, exact. I feel like when you find something where you really get to express yourself, it's so meaningful. Whereas, like, got a really good set at House of Comedy for the competition a couple weeks ago, and afterwards somebody was like, "Man, you did great tonight," and I was like, I guess I was just up there being like kind of racist and homophobic. like I
job.
did
Good stuff,
great.
man.
I got a lot of laughs. I don't know how much I like believe in the material I was doing.
No, yeah.
You know,
But that's
fun too.
Yeah.
And you got to learn to make people laugh first.
like, I feel like you don't have to believe in what you're actually saying. Like,
No,
you're just
of
trying to get
course.
people to laugh at things.
But like, it's more
That's
fun
when you say
when
terrible
it's
things
more
all the
fun
time. It's
when
not
you
like
do.
at
Yeah.
yeah. Like, yeah, 99% of the time when you say something terrible, it's not like you actually like 9/11. You're like,
Yeah, right.
It's like, it's just, it was
Well,
the catalyst.
you don't know me.
Speak for yourself.
Yeah,
all right?
Chris, you didn't like
Huge
9/11.
fan of 9/11.
Oh man.
Man, I got caught.
Do you have any plans for the next year?
For stand up?
Yeah. Do you make like tangible plans?
I have been recently.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I think it's important too. Like,
Yeah.
instead of just being like, oh, I want to be better at comedy or whatever.
When you
like,
start, that's kind of like how you got to be, you know, like, because you don't really know what you're doing when you start. You don't know how to write a joke. You don't know how to do
yeah.
anything. So, like, I think it's fine when you're like a year or two in, you're just trying to figure out your voice
I
and
think
stuff.
if you're just starting, this is like the best advice, new comics. Just get on stage a
Yeah.
lot. Try to be funny. Don't like go up there without like a plan.
Be there prepared. I hate when
Prepare,
new
but,
people
like-
come up and they just think they can just like wing it through the whole thing.
Try a lot of different stuff and mainly just worry about getting on stage. Like,
Yeah.
kind of nothing matters until you like figure out stage presence and then you can deliver
Yeah.
a joke. It's like you
Yeah.
don't really know which jokes are good or not. You're not delivering them well, you know?
Well, there's that saying too, where it's you probably heard it a billion times, but what is it? Funny people say funny things, and then like, or no, a good comic says funny things. A great comic says things funny,
Yeah.
and
Right.
yeah, like you could say something that somebody else said and got no laughs, but if you say it in like a way better timing and like just a funnier way, like, you know, I don't know.
Yeah. Yeah.
That
No,
was
it's timing,
That was my
cadence,
stupid way of saying. it.
all that stuff matters so much.
Yeah.
And there's no weight to it except lots of time on stage. And those of at least, I'll just say this: the audience and everybody can tell who's been on stage a lot and who hasn't. Like, I'm not gonna name names. There's a bunch of fucking comics in this scene that don't get on stage very often,
every scene,
and then they show up. Yeah, less. Like in Eugene, where I was at before this, dude, it was so easy to get on stage that like there weren't as many as that. It's like worse here because
There's so many.
there's so many comics and like it's a 45-minute drive.
Yeah.
And then you got to wait for 30 comics to go up. And just a lot of people aren't putting up with that shit. Whereas like, dude, when I was in Eugene, like people would get mad if the list was like 15 people deep. They're, I'm fucking 16th. God damn it.
Really?
Yeah, dude, they'd be pissed they had to go last at 16th. Dude.
Spoiled.
The most you'd ever see a list is like 20 deep. Ever.
But yeah, I mean, Eugene, how many people?
Dude,
live
there
in
was nights in Eugene when, yeah, there's, probably 30 comics.
Yeah,
which
we have like 100.
That's what I'm
probably,
saying. It's so much easier to get on stage that you don't have as much of that. Whereas, like, if somebody says they do comedy, they probably do, like frequently, because it's just not as hard. There was nights in Eugene when I'd sign up first, and then when we had gone through the list, there'd still be people there listening. I'd be like, just let me go up again.
Yeah,
They'd be like, okay, why not?
I would do that if like you had like an hour-long open mic. You know,
Yeah,
might as well.
Because
Sometimes I just give people more time if there's barely anybody on the list.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
like 7 minutes. Or
yeah,
something.
we do that sometimes too. I miss that. I'm so glad I started there because I went like almost every night for like 3 years because it was so easy. Like at a minimum, dude, like even if I didn't like feel like hanging out or like being out, I could leave my house at 7:15, sign up at 7:30, go first, go up at 8, be home by 8:15. It took me an hour to do my set.
Yeah.
It's like it's not that hard to convince yourself to do that, you know.
That's kind of the benefit of starting in like a smaller place.
Of course, yeah.
Because
And
you
then,
just get in front of people more often.
but when I was there was no club. They just opened a club.
Yeah.
I went and did spots there a couple weeks ago. It was sick.
Yeah, like it's a good place to start there.
Yeah.
But like, yeah, if you don't have a
There's
club in your
no-
town, you're not gonna go anywhere. You got to move.
You kind of don't even realize you're like not like you're not doing comedy in the professional setting if you're not doing it in clubs.
Yep.
Like people, you don't even. It's weird. You don't realize how good you are if you've never done like comedy in a club or like if you're not regularly.
Yeah.
Like, I was kind of surprised, but like I don't know. I didn't know. I don't know how to put this. I didn't know how good I was until I got here because I wasn't doing clubs regularly. And then when I got here, I was like, oh, I can consistently get
In front of
laughs in
people that
clubs.
actually
Like,
wanna laugh?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's very, it's different.
It's a good feeling though when you
Yeah.
finally like you just eat shit through the open mic
Dude,
thing for so long. You
dude,
finally
I've been
get a
trying to
club.
tell people here, dude, because like people get opportunities so fast here. I remember
That's another thing.
Frederick was like 3 months into doing comedy. He was like, I'm going to try and get booked on Don't Tell. I was like, just chill, dude. Just like mic for a little bit. Like, you don't want to go do Don't Tell 3 months
That's
in
also
and have
true.
that like
Yeah, if you
be
don't-
their impression of
If you don't have
you.
an established set, don't really try to go places too far or too fast because then you're gonna get that first impression on people and they'll be like, oh, he does that.
People's first impression matters. Dude,
Yeah.
we've all done this where you saw a comic bomb like 2 open mics in a row. You're like, this guy fucking sucks. He's garbage. And I was like, probably not.
Yeah.
Probably just like trying new shit at a mic.
Like anybody, yeah.
Yeah, you know, but like you make up your mind fast. I do, at least.
Oh, about people.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I've had the experience where I've been like, I've seen a comic at the open mics. I mean, he fucking sucks. Like, kind of just written him off in my head. And then I see him at a club, just fucking crush. And I'm like, oh, word. Like, in a setting where it matters and they care, they take it serious. Like, for sure that happens to me, too. There's people that see me in the mics and they're like, how the fuck does this guy get booked at the clubs ever? Like,
It's
are you kidding me? And so like,
it's
this
also-
isn't what I say there.
It's also I feel like you get a better performance out of yourself when you're actually at a club though because the energy is so like they're actually here to like
Of course you
see
do.
you and you're like it's exciting and you're moving more and you're like
Yeah.
enunciating things more. It's just and then when you're at an open mic, it's like it's just another fucking open mic with.
I mean, a lot of times people are trying brand new jokes.
Yeah.
They're trying to make
Well, yeah.
some joke they haven't been able to get work to work. Like,
Mm-hmm.
of course, it's going to be bad sometimes. Like, it's what they're there for.
Yeah, that's why I don't really take open mics. Like you get to a point where open mics are just like, okay, it's an open mic.
Oh,
It's
yeah,
like,
you
it's
can't-
trying thing. I'm working on it, and if I get a laugh there though, then great.
That
Then
means something.
something's moving. Yeah.
But, like, you're not going to, like, take it hard if
Yeah.
you bomb.
That's
Yeah,
like a newer comic thing. Like if you bomb an open mic, they get all sad.
Oh, yeah, of course. You take it so serious at
Yeah,
first.
it's
It's so cute.
It's open mic.
Yeah, you're not jaded enough. You'll get there. Yeah. Just think about how many people want you to fail. You'll get there. Just think about the people that wish you would quit comedy.
My mom, like
You know those people.
Your
Dude,
family.
comedy's such a weird thing because there's like, you have to interact and get along with a bunch of different people that you don't like and don't like you. And you're like, Like, I know there's certain people, probably mainly people from Oregon, that were like, would be just so happy if I never did comedy again. But like, ostensibly we're friends and like on our on shows together and stuff and network and whatever. And if they needed information about getting spots here, I would help them out, and they help me get spots there, even though they don't like me.
Yeah, it's like a mutual thing. It's like a common enemy kind of thing.
Yeah, it's like we at least have an appreciation for the ability to like get on stage and try to be funny, even if we don't see eye to eye as people or whatever.
As a human being.
Yeah.
No, it is interesting. I mean, that's like anything, though, right?
Yeah, it's like anything.
Any job.
Yeah, of
you have to
course.
deal with people you don't actually like.
Yeah, yeah, but some jobs you like the networking matters a lot less. If you don't like somebody, you don't have to talk to them.
That's what I've been learning recently, or like now, is just how important networking is compared to like. It's probably like 50%.
And what does that come down to, really? It's just like how much
Hanging out.
somebody likes you.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
God damn it.
It's everything in the world, man. It's all about who you know. It really is true. Every job I've ever gotten is based on like somebody I know.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah, never went to college.
Interesting. I would have thought you did.
I went to community college for like a few semesters.
Okay, maybe that's why.
Yeah.
You seem college educated. As if anybody
I
could
retook
tell that.
high school math in college. Yeah, it was great.
Yeah.
Algebra 101.
You don't need college. Look at you now.
Yeah, look at me.
Doing comedy.
comedy and-
Yeah, if you'd be doing comedy
Work at a call
anyways, you
center.
probably didn't really need it.
No, I feel like not going to college was probably like the smartest thing I ever did. Now,
Yeah.
because all my friends are in debt and
Yeah.
they have a degree that's useless.
Yep, totally.
I have no debt.
Yep.
And,
No, that's good.
Yeah,
Yeah, I think you're good.
Yeah, and a dead end job. It's cool. Yeah,
Well, every job is like that. Seems like I don't know. Probably not.
well,
But
die.
every job that comedians have. What do you think is the best job for a comic to have? You work from home, you said?
Yeah,
That's pretty
Well, no,
good.
I don't work from home.
Oh,
I
who
did for a
said
little
that?
while.
Okay. Somebody was telling me they did. I thought I'd seen
I wish I worked from home. That'd be great.
Yeah. Work. Oh, I think it's Gage. Maybe he was saying he works from home.
I'd say anything that's like 9 to if you can pay your bills and you don't have to like live like a fucking dog,
Yeah.
and still do stand up every night.
Yeah,
I think that's a good job. Like,
Yeah.
9 to 5 works perfect
Yeah.
for me at least because
No, you want that 9 to 5 or like my job is like the best right now. I work like 15 hours a week or something like that. It's all in the mornings. Half of it's work from home.
nice.
And
You do prison guarding from home?
I'm not a guard.
You go to my basement.
Yeah.
I work from home as
I
prison.
got this big old basement. I'm not a guard. My job is when people have been found incompetent to stand trial, like they don't know how court works, I have to go try and teach them how court works. Most of the time, I like failed to teach them. Like they're not able to understand it. Like most of the people I work with are very mentally ill.
Wow.
And they're just not gonna get there.
That's kind of
But
scary.
my job's just to kind of document like what their symptoms are. Like, do they not learn well? Do they have delayed responses? Stuff like that, and write that all down.
Damn.
So not a guard necessarily. I'm only in jail a couple days a week. It's still pretty fun though.
not
Jail's-
for work. But things they found on my computer.
I do tell my grandma when I'm leaving, I'm like, all right, grandma, I'm going to jail. She's like, okay.
I know.
You know, I do a joke about it where it's like, jail's pretty awesome when you're allowed to leave. Yeah. All right. What percentage of comics do you think are sexual predators?
I don't know. There's,
More or less than the general population?
more.
Yeah,
than
yeah.
general. Oh,
Yeah, you're like,
absolutely.
that's not.
Yeah.
That's a stupid question.
Yeah. No. It's a strange. Yeah, it's pretty bad.
I'm trying to figure out this joke about that man versus bear stuff.
Oh,
About like. It's like, I would rather hang out with a predator than a bear. Like somebody I knew for sure was a rapist. Like, that's
That
who
waits
I would.
out in the
like,
open,
I'm a
dude.
comic. I'm in the same room as predators 4 times a week.
Oh, yeah, I heard you tell that joke, yeah.
Okay, yeah. I'm trying to figure it out. People didn't like it the first time I tried it. I'll tell you that much. It went bad enough that I didn't do it at your show last night.
Yeah. Yeah, I got a little rough on the second half last night.
Yeah. Oh, God, dude. Yeah. Well, what did you say to those women?
Oh, that lady? Yeah. I said something about her being like old or something. I wasn't even like, I wasn't even trying to be mean or anything. But you know, like when you're a comic and you're just trying to make people laugh, and then you say something that
Yeah, I thought everybody was having a good time. They seemed cool as hell, and then all of a sudden, I heard her being like, "We're leaving because of you," and I was like, "What?"
Yeah, then she left after that. But
hey, I made a woman cry in Oregon. It's okay.
That's good.
Yeah. Is it? I don't know. It's not good that I'm like strangely proud, or like I'm having this weird realization about myself recently where I put up a video on YouTube, and I got a bunch of comments that were basically being like, he's not funny and this guy sucks or whatever. And it's like, those comments made me happier than the comments that were like, this guy's good. Like, it's like, I agree with them, dude. Like, fuck me.
Yeah, I think that's mental illness.
Yeah, there's something not good about it. And like, there's something not healthy about enjoying pissing people off.
I think that's called masochism.
Yeah, okay.
Self-inflicted.
It's good to have a name. Yeah. See, you should have gone to. You could be a psychologist. You'd be good at my job. It sounds like.
Yeah, I got 2 months of community college under my belt. I think I can.
It's weird to think about. Like, there's therapists that are just like shitty people and give bad advice.
Yeah,
and it's like, well, that shouldn't be how the world is, but like, how do you even stop it?
I don't know.
Okay, well, that's a fun premise.
I think we hit a wall on that one.
That's a really good premise we got there. What is your favorite open mic in town besides yours? You're like, mine's not.
Not even on that list yet.
Probably Wayward. Huh?
Wayward, yeah.
Wayward's the shit. Why is Wayward so good?
It's just a fun hang.
Yeah,
and it's just like it's a good part of town.
Do you know downtown well?
I
like that area.
I started learning downtown pretty well because I live pretty close to it.
Do you?
I live like 10 minutes away. Yeah.
Oh yeah. I want to run a show called Drugs and Butt Stuff. That's like advertised as like a raunchy show or whatever.
It's just clean.
That would be so funny. How upset would everybody be? I wonder what would happen if you did. That would be a wild thing to book and do as a video. Like advertise like a crazy X-rated show, caution tape over the mouth, and then just book like 4 clean comics.
Funniest thing would just be the fact that it's clean, and then the rest of the show would probably suck.
Yeah. Clean is such a weird concept. I've been talking to this about people. It's like, so you can't do any sex stuff. You can't curse, but like racism's fine. Right? Like, like I don't know. You know Keith Ellis?
Is he a local comic?
He is, but he's also he travels a lot. He's kind of like, he doesn't really mic.
Okay.
He's like older. He's been doing it like 30 years or something.
Yeah, there's a lot of guys.
He's a stir crazy guy. Yeah. He does cruise ships and stuff like that sometimes. He's big on like, you should always be clean. Like you should be able to work clean. And then you like watch him and he's doing jokes about Mexicans stealing cars. You're like, is this clean? Like,
yeah, it's clean.
I guess. Like, it's such a weird.
In Arizona, that's clean.
It's yeah. It's clean. It might not work in a lot of places, but it's clean. Yeah. Sure, I guess. Yeah, but my taking women home from jail bit is technically clean. Like I don't curse or say anything sexual. I imply it heavily.
I strictly have clean Holocaust and 9/11 jokes. They're clean. This guy's got the cleanest 9/11 joke I ever heard.
It's such a weird. It almost feels like it should matter less to me than like that other stuff. It's like almost more important if a joke is homophobic than if it says shit. Like,
yeah.
But that's not like how a clean show works.
Yeah. If you can do clean, I salute you.
Yeah, it's tough, huh?
It is. I mean, for me at least, it is.
I get it. Yeah.
I'm trying to write more clean stuff just so you can have that in your arsenal in case you have to do like a clean.
I found like the more subtle you can be, it's like almost easier to pull off.
Mm-hmm. And sometimes
jokes.
you can say like a wild joke in a clean way by like just like giving like an innuendo instead of like actually flat out saying something, you know, or like what is it? Can't think of the word. Like inferring it, you know,
Yes.
like inferring something bad is happening, but you don't actually say the
The
bad
more
thing.
you can do that, the better.
Yeah.
People do not like when you're too direct with bad
sometimes, sometimes that's the
Yeah,
thing.
yeah.
It's just it's too blunt.
shit. Yeah,
If you can sugarcoat it a little bit.
right. The first time I ever did that joke about taking women home from jail with me, the final tag I did, it was crushing. The whole time it's going very well. And then the final tag I put, I was like, what, you guys never fantasize about having a sex slave? And just silence, dude. They're like, don't say that.
you said
Don't
it out
say it
loud.
like that. We don't like you anymore. They could not have been more clear with their silence.
Yeah. Yeah, no.
That was way too, I never said it again.
That's a clear-cut example of what we just talked about. Yeah.
yeah. Exactly.
Sorry I keep coughing into the mic. I got something in my fucking throat. I think I'm dying.
That's all right. It's probably just semen.
Yeah. Well, it's some cum left over from me.
It's funny. I was just talking about the Venn diagram of which we're constantly as comics trying to tap into of like conservatives and liberals. And it's like there's this really weird lane of cum jokes that both homophobic and liberal people really like, where it's like, oh, that's a gay. You're saying you're gay. That's good. We like that. And the homophobes are like, oh, that's funny. You're saying you're gay.
Cum is the glue that brings people together.
I love that. Yeah. Or like, I've been thinking about a lot how funny and sad often dovetail.
The what?
How funny, something that's funny and something that's sad,
Oh,
they
yeah.
often dovetail.
Oh, yeah.
You're like trying to tap into that a lot of the time.
I've never heard that. Dovetail?
Yeah.
That just mean they're similar?
It
Or
means
kinda
like,
cross?
yeah.
Yeah? Oh,
They fold together, I guess.
all right.
Like a dove's tail. I don't
Is
know.
it a Eugene,
I
Oregon?
don't know
thing?
who I stole that from.
Yeah.
Maybe. No.
Probably
There's more
somebody's house
doves
when you're
here
doing meth.
than in Oregon. Yeah, probably some meth head said that. Dude. Yeah, such crazy shit from meth heads.
Oh, I bet.
Such crazy theories. One of my favorites, this guy was wearing like a mask and that covered his whole face. And I was with this drug dealer and he was like, hey man, just making me kind of uncomfortable. You take that mask off. And the guy was like, oh no, I don't want my ears to fall off. I was like,
What?
wait, is that what would happen? If you took your, yeah. Such a wild, like, okay,
That's crazy.
sure, then don't take your mask off. How about that?
That's so crazy what like drugs can do.
Oh yeah, for sure. I had a dream about that guy who shot up my house, and I called him and was like telling him about the dream, and he was like, "Hey man, take it easy, all right? Be safe. Like I gotta
guy
go."
that tried to kill you?
yeah. He was like worried about me. He's like, "Be safe. Take care of yourself, all right?"
haven't been yourself.
He's like, "Go get some sleep, all right?"
That's wild.
Yeah, crazy. You do weird, crazy shit.
Yeah.
Hallucination, like full blown psychosis.
Is that when you like just stay up for like days?
Yeah,
and you
yeah.
Start fucking seeing stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You stay up for days is when it happens.
Yeah.
It's not good not sleeping.
Yeah.
It turns out.
Yeah, apparently. Yeah.
I really prioritize sleeping now. I sleep a lot.
That's
You sleep a lot?
Kind of.
Yeah, not really. Not enough.
Just like a
You're
normal
great.
person, I think.
You're probably going to get dementia.
Yeah. I think I already have.
Yeah,
man.
probably.
Yeah, meth. Did you know originally came from the Nazis?
I do know.
Yeah, it was called Pervitin.
Mm-hmm.
And they gave it to the German soldiers.
Yeah, Hitler was all hopped up on it.
Yeah, it fueled the Blitzkrieg.
Yeah, I have a joke about Hitler being on it or something. I should look it up. I don't do it very often. I can't get my meth jokes to work here. I don't get it.
Which we have a huge meth audience.
But
which
they
I
like
understand.
don't like. They like don't like tweakers here. Like in Oregon, because I had so many less jokes about like race or gay people or whatever that I could do. A lot of what I talked about was my meth stuff.
Yeah.
And it went well a lot. I mean, it bombed a lot too, but like it went well a lot more than here. I had like probably 5 minutes of material that I would do regularly there that I almost never do here. Unless
Really?
it's just like
Have you tried it here?
Yeah, a lot.
Yeah.
And it's just like people don't like it.
Yeah, that I've had the hard time with my like drug jokes too.
Yeah.
Like, with my family and stuff.
Your joke about the Grinch is so good.
It took a while to get
I bet.
there.
Yeah.
It took a lot of just eating shit.
It's interesting.
Yeah, that's kind of like what we were talking about earlier. You got to like kind of sugarcoat and not say it directly. Because before, when I was saying just it directly, very directly, and then I put the Grinch on as like the catalyst for the joke, so it makes it kind of sweeter, in a way. It's like, oh, it's like a kids show, but with heroin.
That's really funny.
Thanks, man.
And the part about the spoons.
Oh yeah, that was actually the original version.
Yeah, sure.
But now that just as a tag,
Yeah,
it works
way better.
instead of just being
Interesting.
by itself.
It's interesting that it like that part couldn't quite carry the bit.
Yeah, that's how I usually used to start it.
And it's funny, like this is literally all just you getting on stage a lot and figuring it out.
Yeah.
Like that's the process. Just fucking get on stage a lot. God, I have a true disdain for comics that don't get on stage very often. I brought it up 3 times
most
already.
comics do deep down, it's like it's people that get up like once a month.
It's
and then
I
they
don't
try
know
to
if
tell
like
people, like
maybe I'm just like overreacting or whatever, but it's just so obvious to me when like people don't perform a lot, and it's like you don't seem comfortable. You seem like you're just like rehearsed. Like I know I was that for a long time, but like that's why I got on stage so much. I don't. It's just.
I think that's like the most important thing in the beginning is just to get comfortable on stage. Once you're comfortable, then you can have fun, and then you're like funny when you're having fun.
Exactly. Like it should get to the point where you can be yourself. Like where you're just like you feel comfortable enough to express yourself. I don't know. Maybe comics just don't realize that they're not there yet or whatever. But like, it's just annoying when they're not.
And I mean, we're like 5 years in, so we still don't even really know anything. Like the big comics are like, you don't even know shit till you're like 10 years in, and then.
For sure, but I agree with you 100%. And I'm a big a proponent of the idea that the longer you do comedy, the more you realize how little time you've been doing it. Like now, when I'm getting to 5 years in, I'm like, oh, that's nothing. Like it feels like I'm less time in than 3 years for whatever reason. That's just kind of how your ego works at first. The funniest part of that is like your first year in when you feel like such a real comic. You're like, I'm doing it, man. Like, I'm just like all these other guys. Like, you're trying to relate to people that have been doing comedy like 10 years, and they're just like, it's nice they even talk to you, honestly.
It is actually.
Yeah.
And I always try to be nice to the new guys, too.
Me too.
Yeah.
We all do, but, like, it's also so hard not to be dismissive of, like, people that are, like, brand new. Because you're like, so many of these people are going to quit. Like, I'm going to,
that's the thing, too, is...
Like, put how much effort into like meeting these people and learning their names and watching their horrible comedy just to like never see them again. And that happens to you a few times and you're like, oh, I understand why those other comics were like jaded and barely talked to me. Like
it reminds me of like World War II when they'd get replacements.
Yeah.
They just didn't want to like become friends with them.
And then somebody like once you've seen them like around for like a year and a half, you're like, oh, this person's in. Like, they're going to keep going.
That's if like when you see somebody consistently showing up, that's when it's like, okay,
right,
that's a cool new guy. He's gonna be here for a while.
But like, God, so many people just like trying to get your attention, talking to you, at mics and stuff, just to disappear, and you're like, Jesus Christ.
Yeah, no, it definitely happens a lot.
It's just like you only have so much social battery.
Yeah. And that's the thing, though, when you first start. I remember going, like, back when I first started. It is very nerve-wracking because everybody seems to know each other in this scene.
Yeah.
And then when you're the new guy, it's just like nobody knows who you are, but they're all hanging out. So you gotta, like, try to insert yourself in there, but it's, like, really...
But really, I don't know. I remember just standing in the circle for, like, a year before I felt like the
that's
balls
kind of,
that's say
just
anything.
being around them eventually, you'll kind of just absorb into them,
People will catch your sets because they have to. They're up after you.
And then they'll just say something. Yeah, I highly suggest not just going up to comedians randomly and just being like, try to like strike conversation. Just like do your set and then let them kind of like see you and then just
People start to fist
talking
bump
to
you.
Yeah, and then they'll warm up to you, and then you just be natural instead of like forcing it and trying to be funny in front of comedians is
The worst.
really
Don't
annoying.
do
Yeah,
that.
very annoying because it's just not going to be funny, and we're all used.
We
to
can all
trying to
tell
make
when
each
you're
other, like,
we're forcing it, and we can all tell when we're hanging out and somebody says something funny and it wasn't forced and it just was funny and they thought of it so they said it. Like we don't need any of that extra energy.
Yeah, it's too much.
Yeah, comedy's that's why it would be best not to have another job. Is comedy's so draining.
It's exhausting.
All that other stuff. It's just a lot. Like it's weird. I wonder if there's like a science behind how exhausting social interactions are. Like it may be because it makes your brain do a lot.
They
I
have
saw
studies
a study that said like I don't even know if this is true, but like that said like chess players burn a lot of calories when they're playing chess because their brain's working hard. Does that even make sense?
Sounds like a stupid person.
Yeah.
wrote that.
Yeah. I don't know. Dude. I don't know if that's a real thing.
It sounds like a
No.
chess player wrote that.
He's like, this is why
It's
I need
actually
to drink.
really hard work.
This is why I need to drink 3 sodas a day. Man, I've never met an unhealthier group of people than comedians, and that's including the meth addicts I used to hang out with.
It's because it's just a mix of just alcoholics and drug addicts and
Alcoholics, drug addicts,
don't
people
eat
just
well.
make poor decisions
Yeah.
in general.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not like we didn't see that coming. I mean,
Yeah.
comedians,
Yeah, right.
you know,
It's-
if we were successful people, we wouldn't be doing this.
That's probably true.
Yeah.
I wonder, is there any rich comedians? Who do we know that's rich? I'm probably the closest.
You're probably the richest guy around.
Well, not, that's like,
there's people that are like well up.
that's
like,
really like relative. Like
Yeah.
people used to give me a lot of shit in Eugene because I didn't have a job when I was there. So I was just like doing stand up and like
You're a real
for a little
comedian.
while I was doing college. So that's why I didn't have a job. But then I just like graduated and was like, didn't get a job for a while and like wasn't really finding one or putting effort towards one. And people were like, you fucking rich. Like, but it's like I'm living at home with my mom. Like I'm not.
yeah, I'm successful.
Yeah, like I don't know. It was funny. My mom would let me borrow her Tesla, and I would take it to like open mics in Portland, and people would be like, "What the fuck?" I'm
fucking
like, "It's my
Tesla
mom's car, all right." Like,
No, guys, I'm poor. I swear.
which is like more comfortable to say that than just like try to like play off owning a Tesla. Like in our community, you know, like it's cooler to just be like, no, guys, like I couldn't get here otherwise. My mom is just glad I'm not doing meth anymore, so she lets me borrow her car.
that is kind of true.
Yeah,
We like respect people that like sleep on the floor compared to like,
right. Nobody wants like,
oh, you're married and you have a house. Good for you, Chris.
yeah, probably a lot of people resent you
I get
because of
so
your
much
wife.
shit for that. Like when I'm just like, yeah,
You
guys,
got
I gotta
your
go
hot
home.
wife, your happy dog, happy wife, happy life.
beagle with
What are
your
you fucking
floppy
doing here, Chris?
It's like when I say like, sorry guys, I can't hang out. I gotta.
That's
go
kind of
home.
funny.
I gotta
That's like the opposite. Oh no, it's the exact same thing. When I was on meth, I would get that a lot. People could tell I was not like a fucked up enough person to be shooting meth.
Yeah.
They'd be like, dude, you need to go go home to your parents. I had like multiple people confront me. They'd be
Really?
like, you're not like bad enough
the
to
hack
be
of the
doing
meth.
with it. Right, yeah. They're like, and like the reality was that was my life. Like a lot of addicts don't have that. Like
Like
I
a
could just stop and go live
decent
with my mom
upbringing.
whenever
Yeah.
I want. Like I pretty much had a pair. Like I pretty much got to like cosplay as a meth addict until I was like, okay, this is horrible, and I don't want to do this anymore. And then I just went home and like, a year later, I'm fine.
Did you go to rehab?
Yes,
Yeah.
a lot of rehab. Also, yeah, I got a lot of legal charges that
Really?
helped make that decision.
Yeah.
They're like, hey man, how about you don't get in any trouble at all if you just like go to rehab and participate and do. I think I was on probation for 3 years.
Damn.
Yeah. So, but I had like my case, how it was set up, it just goes away if I did that, and I did everything.
Oh, so they got expunged?
Yeah, it's like there's nothing there.
That's
Yeah.
cool.
Yeah, it is cool.
It's pretty.
It's
fucking
pretty
rad.
awesome. Yeah. I'm glad I didn't have to like take it to trial or whatever.
Did you have a relapse?
I've not had a relapse.
Really?
Yeah.
That's actually impressive.
Yeah, kind of. I don't think I'd ever would have done meth if I wasn't with this girl I was with.
Yeah.
So once I was like away from her,
Helped
it was
a lot.
kind of not even like on the radar, really.
That's good.
You know?
That's kind of how it always is.
Yeah.
Like with my family members, like that same thing. It's always
A
somebody
person.
you're dating. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure. Unless you like really got it.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
but, but like I don't know, most people can like just be like, this is gonna ruin my life. I can't do that. Like that's why so many people drink and smoke weed. It's
Yeah.
like not gonna ruin your life like that. It can make it.
Some people it does. But
Alcohol will
it's
get you, yeah, and to a lesser degree, weed too.
Yeah.
But both of them, it's like way less than
Like
heroin,
alcohol you can
meth,
manage.
or fentanyl. Anything
Yeah.
like that is like real.
Nobody's going home after work.
There's
and
not
having
really
a-
like functional fentanyl addicts or like
It's just my after
functional
work
meth
fentanyl.
addicts. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. There's not really.
Just winding down.
I bet those drugs go great together.
Yeah.
Yeah. You ever want to shoot drugs?
No.
Just double checking.
I got some.
I've been thinking about getting back into it.
It's my old hobby.
Like comedy's not going great. Maybe I'll just go back to shooting.
Go back to the
meth.
pipe. Yeah.
Yeah. I wish there was like a different drug you could shoot. I would actually here's what I really wish. I wish you could shoot weed.
Yeah. You probably could.
I don't think you can. I think you can, but it has to be diluted in so much alcohol that you're gonna feel drunk and not high.
Yeah.
And I don't want to mainline liquor.
No. Do people do that?
You can. I
Really?
don't think people do.
No. Okay.
I
Yeah, you
don't-
just shoot in your blood.
Yeah. I don't think people do though. I think people just.
I'm sure
drink it.
somebody's done it.
No. I think people have done it, dude, for sure. I don't think it's like a. I don't think very many people
Yeah.
are regularly doing it. Yeah, you'd have to like.
That would actually be very dangerous
Yeah, I think so.
because 40% directly in your bloodstream. Because when it breaks down in your like intestines and stuff,
Yeah,
it's like
probably
just a
doesn't take
percentage
that
of
much.
it.
Yeah. God, it's making me sick thinking about
Yeah,
it.
we
I
don't
bet
have
it
to
does
keep
not
talking
feel
about it.
good.
No.
Just like having alcohol all of a sudden in your bloodstream. I don't know.
Immediately hammered.
Yeah, that sounds disorienting. At least meth was like a cool feeling.
He's got that going for you.
Oh man, I wonder how many comics do meth. I can think of at least a few.
You know, I don't know. There's probably somebody out there.
Oh, there's
Watching
definitely somebody out there.
Yeah.
Somebody messaged me. It's almost a year ago now, and was like, "Hey, hey, buddy, I have meth." I was just like, "I don't feel like relapsing today, but thanks for the offer." It's weird how when you used to be a drug addict, that'll happen every now and then. People know that. Just like hit you up, be like,
Send you a birthday card.
yeah.
Hey,
Just so you know, I'm like over here doing drugs.
I'm
in case
ruining my
you
life.
want to come do drugs.
That's kind of scary.
It sucks,
Yeah.
dude. It's not like a cool thing to do.
No, that's really kind of fucked up.
Yeah, to be like the trigger for somebody relapsing.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That's good, though. That's good that you've never relapsed.
I'm not worried about it, dude. I
Give
love
that
doing comedy. I live with my. I don't think I would even if I didn't have those things. But like, I'm happy. Like enough, you know. Like most of the like suicide and fucking hate my life shit on stage is just, you know, just trying to be funny,
just funny.
about comedy.
It's just good old fashioned fun.
I just find dark shit funny.
No, I get. Yeah,
Uh,
there's a lot of people that don't understand that.
I don't think it's impossible that I could get suicidal, but like,
It's always on the table.
yeah, but like, you know, until like my mom and dad and grandma die, I'm probably fine.
I got a good
Yeah.
15, 20 years
Yeah,
left.
shit's gonna get real dark for me when my parents go. That'll be
Yeah.
like a real like. We'll see how I feel about relapsing then.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like right now, I'm like, I can't even picture it. Probably when that happens, I'll be like, yeah, sounds pretty good, actually. Hopefully comedy's going better by then. I'm
That's
sure
your
it
goal.
won't be.
Just get better at comedy before your parents.
It's such a weird thing, like trying to figure out, like how to put yourself out there enough, or even like, have you been doing it? How have you been? How much should you be promoting yourself for how long have you been doing comedy? Trying to find the balance there. It's like, because I'm constantly having these moments where I realize, like, oh, I'm suck. I'm not good enough.
I think every comedian.
If you're good, if you're good, you are.
Yeah.
You should never be coming out of every comedy
best.
experience like, I crushed that. I'm the best. Yeah, like that's not
I
healthy.
think occasionally you'll have a show where you're like, okay, that was good.
Oh, every now and then you'll have a show where at the end you're like, I'm a comedy god.
Yeah.
But like,
And that goes down real fast.
yeah, of course, like you're not as good as your best set. You're not as bad as your worst set. You're somewhere in the middle.
Yeah. And if you could just change that slide, if you just slide it up a little
keep
bit.
sliding it up. Keep sliding it up. But what were we talking about right before that? I thought I had a point. Doesn't really matter.
I remember your parents dying and then, I don't know.
Oh, promoting yourself.
Yeah.
Though, like, it's like I'm constantly having these moments where I realize I'm like not funny or not good enough, and it's like, how much should I be putting myself out there? But how long can I afford to wait? And for sure, I'm doing well. I have good clips. Like, I'm definitely not one of these guys that's like, you shouldn't be putting clips out until you're 10 years in. Or like,
No.
like if you
I think
like
5 years
get a
is a good
funny
time
joke,
to, like,
5
kinda,
years
like-
is good.
Yeah.
I think even around like 3 years, you can start to worry
If
about
you're getting
it.
some funny bits that you want to put out there, yeah.
And like, I'm not as that like it matters. Like, I'm not worried about like saving bits for specials. Really, like there's a few every now and then I'll have something where it's like I'm not putting a clip of this out, but it's pretty rare. Most of the time, I'm like, I'll probably write a better joke at some point.
That's why
like,
most comedians, they just post crowd work because it's...
Yeah, but like that's my point. Even is like I'm not worried about that.
Yeah.
About doing just
posting
crowd
videos
work.
and stuff. Yeah, yeah.
Where, because like, for the most part, even if I do a bit that I've posted on social media on like a special in like 10 years or whatever, it'll have evolved so much. I can't imagine it would even be recognizable.
And you'll have
hardly.
a lot more material that's around it.
Right.
You know, it's going to be like...
Yeah, exactly.
like, oh,
and
yeah.
people forget shit a lot more often than they think they do.
Yeah.
Like, probably nobody remembers
There's
the
so much
bit they
content
saw
out there now,
on
like-
your Instagram
Yeah.
7 months ago or whatever.
Yeah.
You know,
You know.
I think it's so funny when comics like kind of assume you know their bits, and you're just like, I'm not listening like that, dude. Like, I listen to maybe the set before me. Just to make sure if there's something I need to address or something like that. I'm talking open mics. At shows I hang out and listen.
Yeah.
But other than that, at open mics, I'm not listening.
Well, a lot of people aren't.
Yeah. Right. That's why they're so fun.
Yeah. I try to listen sometimes, but then I'll get sidetracked and I'm just like, whatever.
Yeah. Well, you kind of got to listen when you run a mic.
When I run a mic, I
'Cause, like,
always listen.
You're
always
just
sit in
like
front.
waiting for somebody to say some crazy shit that the venue's gonna be like, "Hey man, what the fuck was that?" And you're just like, "Oh, I'll go beat him up. I'm sorry."
Also, it's your mic, so everything's your responsibility. So
Yeah.
you want it to be as good as you are. So, pay attention to everybody when you're running a mic. That's what I say. Yeah, that's what I always say.
Yeah.
Old Chris.
What's your advice for new comics that are starting out?
Get on stage as much as possible.
Yeah,
it's like
hell
the fucking
yeah.
thing, and then just write everything and anything that you think of, and just try everything and anything. Don't because you're brand new. You don't know what works yet and what doesn't. So there's no point in being like that won't work. Just fucking try it, and if it doesn't work, cool, it doesn't work. If like what I do is like, if I try something, I'll try it like 5 times, and if it works like 3 out of the 5 times, then I'll be like, okay.
We call that Chris's 3/5 rule.
My 3/5 compromise. Yeah. Chris's 3/5 compromise.
We ended on a banger, dude. That's awesome. Plug anything you want to plug.
Yeah. So I run a couple shows around the valley. Throne Brewing in Glendale and Throne Brewing downtown. I run an open mic at Bull Shooters, and every Tuesday at 7:30. It's on 35th and Peoria, right next to the old Laser Quest. And I got some shows coming up in around the valley, and That's it.
Yeah, Instagram's Chris Herb Comedy.
Yeah, my
Oh,
handles.
yeah.
My actually Instagram is herbs_and_spices.
Okay.
Yeah.
It'll be in the description.
Yeah. All right.
Thanks, dude. This was awesome.
Yeah. Thanks for having me.